Worry is prayer for things that you don't want. That's chaos around here. Get my notebook. Now, I thought I had written some stuff about worry down, but it seems I didn't. So they must just be in my head. So I want to talk about worrying, why we do it, why it might be beneficial to switch the perspective on worrying, and how we can do that. So first off, the reason that we worry, well, let's just consider this. Worry is a thought that we have or a feeling that we have that's based on our imagination of a future experience that has not yet happened. So we're imagining something that is going to happen in the future, and as a result, we are feeling what we anticipate feeling if that thing were to happen. So let's say I'm worried about getting in a car crash, and now I start to feel the feelings that I would imagine myself feeling if I was in a car crash. So I'm effectively pulling that reality into my present moment when I worry. Now let's consider the fact and be aware of the fact that the future, it hasn't happened until the present. So the future is always has the potential to manifest in whatever way, depending on what we bring to those moments. So in this example, you could say that I am effectively bringing that reality into my present moment. Yeah, I might not have the physical manifestation of a car crash, but I'm still feeling the things that I anticipate feeling. And that's ultimately what our projections are, is that they're a pulling of a certain frequency into our present moment. So you could say that worry is prayer for things you don't want, because what are you doing? You're focusing your attention on something you don't want. You're bringing that into your current reality through your feelings and experience and thoughts, and so you may as well be living in that reality. Now obviously it doesn't feel very good to have those sensations in your body, in your mind. So what we can do instead is recognize, okay, it's totally valid that I'm concerned about a car crash happening and I don't want that to happen. But also keep in mind that it hasn't happened and it doesn't need to happen. And just as you can imagine what it feels like to be in a car crash when you're not in a car crash, you can also imagine what it might feel like to feel good. What it might feel like to be chilling with some of your friends on a beach or something like that. Whatever it is that tickles your fancy, you can pull that reality into your present experience too. And that's really the difference between worry and excitement. Is like excitement, you're stoked about the thing that's going to come your way, whereas with worry, you're not stoked about it, you're not excited about it. So a simple little reframe or trick that you could use is, when you find yourself worrying about something that you probably don't have any control over at this point in time, just imagine what it might be like if something you actually wanted to happen is going to happen to you, and see how that feels, because that's what excitement is. And we all know that feeling excited is a beautiful feeling. It's almost like being in love. And the only difference between worry and excitement is our feeling toward the situation that may or may not happen. So from this perspective, it kind of makes sense that if you find yourself worrying, that you would just take a minute to realize that you are projecting into a future, possibly based on stories that you've heard, or based on your past experience of things that have happened to you. And you know yourself, it doesn't feel good. So why feed that reality when it's not currently here? Because in feeding it, even if it doesn't manifest physically as a car crash or whatever, you're still feeling the feelings associated with it right now, because you're worrying about it, because you're thinking about it in the future. And no, it doesn't mean that it's going to happen. Like I don't really believe that you just think about bad things and they'll happen to you. But I do feel that if you are focused on negativity, if you're focused on, bad things or whatever, you are more likely to be aware of the unfavorable things that are happening around you. So It's pretty simple. If you focus, like if you start your day and you say, today I'm going to choose to see the kindness in the world, you're going to then notice for the rest of the day things that represent kindness to you. Maybe you recognize a stranger smiling, or someone picking up someone's handbag if they dropped it. Anything like that is a symbol of kindness, for me at least. So the difference between having that sort of anxiety that is worry related and a sense of optimism and excitement for the world that we're living in is the intention that we set. So what do we want for ourselves? And that's what prayer is. And I understand that prayer isn't a very accessible word for a lot of people. I really did not resonate with prayer because I'm from Catholic Ireland and was raised being forced to go to mass, and I don't have a good association with that word. But as I've come to find out about these things by myself through my journey, prayer is really just the opposite of worry. Worry is prayer for things that you don't want. Prayer is the opposite of worry. It's bringing the things that you would like to see more of in your life into the now, into the present moment. And in doing so, that's what you begin to see. And since the future is malleable, it's not yet created, the present moments that you move forward with are going to create the future. Remember, the future is just a present moment that hasn't yet happened. And when it does happen, it'll be in the present. So how you are now in this present moment is definitely going to influence in a big way your perception, at least, of how the future is. So consider that next time you find yourself worrying or in an anxious spiral. Consider, what am I putting my energy toward right now? Is it that I'm bringing an unfavorable future into my now? And if so, how can I make a small adjustment right here, right now to bring a bit of calm into my body and to relax my nervous system? Maybe it's just focusing on the abundance that surrounds you. Maybe it's the sound of a bird in a tree, or maybe it's the breeze, things like wind. If you consider how important and valuable the wind is to the entire ecosystems that we are surrounded by, wind transports seeds, and then these seeds grow into trees, and then things eat the things on the trees, and the tree dies and things build their own habitat inside a dead wood, and all of that is because of wind. One tiny little thing has this huge knock-on effect. And you can see stuff like that all throughout your day, all throughout the world, if you just take a minute to consider it. And so that's my invitation to you today. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, a beautiful evening, a beautiful life. And I'll catch you next time.